How to request intimacy from a woman, psychological trick. Stoicism. Gentlemen, let's dive right in. Have you ever found yourself wanting to connect with a woman on a deeper, more intimate level, but felt uncertain about how to make your move? What if I told you there's a way to ask for intimacy that's not only effective but also aligns beautifully with the timeless principles of Stoicism? Today, we'll explore a psychological approach that will transform how you engage with intimacy and help you feel more self-assured, grounded, and in control of your emotions. Picture this. You're sitting across from the woman you've been seeing for a while. There's a strong connection, and you're ready to elevate things. But instead of feeling confident, anxiety sets in. You worry about how to bring it up. What if she says no? What if she pulls away? Here's the truth. Those are the wrong questions. The right question is, how can you apply Stoic principles to shift the power dynamic, making her not just comfortable with intimacy, but eager for it too? Stick with me for the next few minutes, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to request intimacy in a way that's respectful, psychologically savvy, and deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. This isn't your typical dating advice. We're here to master the art of emotional and psychological connection, something many men overlook. Let's get started. 1. The psychological trick: balancing vulnerability and strength. Let's talk about the psychological trick, the delicate balance of vulnerability and strength. This may sound like a contradiction, but when done right, it creates a compelling dynamic. Vulnerability is often misinterpreted as weakness or oversharing. In reality, it's about being authentic, open and honest about your feelings and intentions, without coming off as needy or desperate. Within the framework of Stoicism, vulnerability means showing your true self while keeping your emotions in check. When expressing your desire for intimacy, do so with calmness and clarity. For example, you might say, "I've really enjoyed our time together and I feel a strong connection with you. I'd like to explore a more intimate level because I believe it could deepen our relationship." This statement is powerful for several reasons. First, it's direct and clear. You're not beating around the bush or playing games. Second, it's respectful. You're inviting her to consider intimacy rather than demanding it. Third, it's rooted in your belief that intimacy will enrich the relationship, not just satisfy your desires. Why is this blend of vulnerability and strength so effective? Because it taps into a fundamental human need for connection. When you show vulnerability, you communicate openness to forming a deeper bond. Pairing that vulnerability with strength signals that you're not seeking connection out of desperation, but from a place of confidence. This dynamic is highly attractive as it fosters safety and trust. Women are more likely to respond positively to intimacy when they feel secure in the relationship, knowing the man they're with is both emotionally available and stable. 2. The Stoic art of patience, letting her set the pace. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism is patience. In today's fast-paced world, patience is a rare and attractive virtue. When it comes to requesting intimacy, it's vital to let the woman set the pace. This doesn't mean you should be passive. Instead, remain engaged, present, and responsive to her cues. In Stoicism, patience isn't about waiting idly. It's about being actively patient, engaging with the process, observing and understanding the situation without pushing. Patience means recognizing that everyone has their own timeline and comfort level. Rushing things can create unnecessary tension and anxiety. After you express your desire for intimacy, the next step is to give her space to process and respond. The silence that may follow can feel uncomfortable, but it's crucial. This is where the magic happens, a moment for her to reflect on her feelings, desires, and comfort level. In this silence, she can make a decision that feels right for her, free from pressure. During this moment, maintain eye contact, stay relaxed, and keep your body language open. Your posture should convey confidence and patience, indicating that you're not rushing but are open to whatever pace feels right for her. This approach not only shows respect, but also creates a safe space for her to express her feelings. This kind of patience is incredibly powerful because it signals that you're not just interested in physical intimacy, but in building a genuine connection. Interested in physical intimacy, but in building a connection grounded in mutual respect and understanding. This approach illustrates that you value her feelings and boundaries, demonstrating your willingness to wait for the right moment rather than rushing things before she's ready. Furthermore, patience signifies emotional maturity. It shows you can manage your desires instead of letting them control you. This kind of emotional maturity is both rare and attractive, indicating you're capable of navigating intimacy and the emotional complexities that accompany it. 3. The subtle art of suggestion, planting the seed now. Let's explore the real psychological trick here. Instead of directly asking for intimacy, think about planting a suggestion that encourages her to contemplate the idea on her own terms. This technique leverages the power of suggestion, a subtle yet effective psychological tool. Well documented in psychology, the power of suggestion works because it allows the other person to internalize the idea and make it their own. By planting a suggestion, you're not imposing your desires on her. You're inviting her to consider the notion in her own time. You might say something like, "I think becoming closer to you feels really natural for us, don't you?" This isn't a direct request, but rather a gentle nudge, allowing her to visualize the intimacy you're hinting at. It's more about inviting her to explore the idea than convincing her. This approach respects her autonomy and subtly encourages her to view intimacy as a mutual and organic progression, rather than something forced upon her. By planting the seed of intimacy in her mind, you enable her to take ownership of the idea, increasing the likelihood that she will embrace it. But the art of suggestion doesn't stop at planting the seed. It's also about how you nurture it. After making the suggestion, continue to foster emotional and physical closeness through subtle means. For example, increase affectionate touches like holding her hand or giving her a hug. These small gestures can foster a sense of closeness and comfort, making the idea of intimacy feel more natural and appealing. At the same time, stay attuned to her responses. If she seems receptive, build on that momentum. If she appears hesitant, give her the time and space she needs. The key is to remain patient and observant, allowing the idea of intimacy to develop organically rather than forcing it. Building anticipation. The power of delayed gratification. Another critical aspect of Stoicism is the concept of delayed gratification, which emphasizes understanding the value of waiting and the strength that comes from it. When it comes to intimacy, rushing the process can often lessen its value and impact. Delayed gratification involves resisting the urge for immediate rewards in favor of a more significant or meaningful one later. This concept is central to Stoic philosophy and holds great relevance in the realm of intimacy. Instead of seeking immediate gratification, think about how to build anticipation. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or manipulating the situation. It's about deepening the emotional connection so that when intimacy finally occurs, it's more meaningful and fulfilling for both of you. To build anticipation, focus on creating memorable experiences that strengthen your emotional bond. Engage in activities that bring you closer, whether through deep conversations, sharing personal stories, or enjoying mutual interests. These shared experiences foster a connection that transcends the physical, making eventual intimacy more profound and impactful. You can also build anticipation through subtle physical cues. For instance, increase affectionate touches like holding hands, sharing gentle hugs, or sitting closer together. These small gestures can establish a sense of closeness and intimacy, without rushing into a full physical relationship. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. By taking the time to build a solid emotional foundation, you create a more meaningful and fulfilling connection. This approach not only enhances the intimacy when it does happen, but also strengthens the overall relationship. Moreover, delayed gratification reflects self-control and emotional maturity. It shows you're not driven by immediate desires, but are capable of waiting for something more significant. This level of self-control is incredibly appealing, as it demonstrates that you're not merely interested in physical pleasure, but in cultivating a lasting and meaningful connection. 5. Emotional intelligence. Reading her cues and responding thoughtfully. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in any relationship, especially when it comes to navigating intimacy. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our own emotions, while also being attuned to the feelings and reactions of others. Emotional intelligence encompasses the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as those of others. It's about being aware of the subtle signals people give off through body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions. During your interactions, make it a point to observe her body language, tone of voice, and any subtle cues she may exhibit. For example, if she appears hesitant or uncomfortable, acknowledge it and allow her the space to express her feelings. You could say, "I notice you seem a bit quiet. How are you feeling about what we're discussing?" This not only shows that you're focused on her comfort, but also indicates that you're sensitive to her emotional state. Women appreciate a man who is perceptive and caring, someone who prioritizes their well-being. This level of emotional intelligence is both rare and highly attractive. However, emotional intelligence goes beyond merely recognizing her cues. It also involves how you respond to them. If she expresses hesitancy, don't push or try to convince her otherwise. Instead, validate her feelings and communicate that you respect her boundaries. You might say, "I understand if you're not ready and I want you to feel comfortable. Let's take things at a pace that feels right for you." Such a response demonstrates that you care about her feelings and comfort level, showcasing your willingness to prioritize her needs, a fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy. Emotional intelligence also includes self-awareness regarding your own emotions and how they impact your interactions. For instance, if you're feeling anxious or impatient, take a moment to pause and reflect before responding. This self-awareness allows you to approach the situation with a calm and composed mindset, preventing your emotions from dictating your actions. 6. The role of self-control, being in command of your desires. Self-control is a cornerstone of Stoicism and is vital when discussing intimacy. Exercising control over your desires doesn't mean suppressing them. It means not allowing them to overshadow your actions or cloud your judgment. When approaching a woman about intimacy, it's crucial to come from a place of self-control. This means your motive should stem from a genuine desire for a deeper connection, rather than lust or desperation. Women can sense when a man has self-control, and it's a trait that inspires respect and trust. In the context of intimacy, self-control means managing your desires in a way that respects both your needs and hers. It's about balancing the expression of your desires while being mindful of her comfort level. If you find yourself feeling impatient or frustrated because the relationship isn't progressing as quickly as you'd like, take a moment to step back and remind yourself of the bigger picture. Intimacy encompasses not just physical closeness, but also emotional connection, trust, and mutual respect. By exercising self-control, you demonstrate that you're not merely seeking immediate gratification, but are invested in cultivating a meaningful and lasting relationship. Self-control also involves gracefully handling rejection or a slower pace. If the conversation doesn't unfold as you hoped, or if she's not ready for intimacy, your ability to remain composed and understanding will distinguish you. This is where Stoic philosophy truly shines. You're not attached to the outcome, and your peace of mind isn't reliant on her response. By embracing self-control, you reinforce your self-worth and show that you can navigate the emotional complexities that intimacy brings. This level of maturity is not only attractive, but also essential for fostering a healthy and fulfilling relationship. 7. Communicating value, the importance of mutual respect and growth. When requesting intimacy, it's vital to convey that you see it as a mutual experience that can enrich both of your lives. This isn't about what you can extract from her, it's about what you can share together. Expressing how you believe that deepening your connection can contribute to your personal growth is key. For instance, you could say, "I think becoming closer could bring us even more happiness and understanding. I see it as a way for us to grow together, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well." This approach shifts the focus from physical pleasure to mutual respect and growth. It shows that you value her as a person and that intimacy is part of a larger picture, a shared journey toward greater fulfillment and happiness. Communicating value in this manner demonstrates that you're not simply focused on your own needs, but are genuinely interested in the connection you both share.